What you're about to watch is a special private training session for people who bought a copy of my book, Built to Serve. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody. Live, see some familiar faces. So what was the topic today? Writing emails that get attention. Ooh. I think the most important part of the email sequence is your story. You know, I think when you think about how does somebody join your email list, they heard about you somewhere, they saw your YouTube video, they got your lead magnet. If you think about how do people get on my email list? Well, they're coming from a YouTube video and I give them some bonus, right? Our campaign right now is we create PDF summaries for every video. And then if you want the summary, all of them, give us your email and we'll send you the link to the summaries. And then we keep updating that summary page. So they're coming from YouTube, summary worksheet for every video. Great, get the email. On Clubhouse, it's if people want the recording of the video, of the soundtrack. So there's a audio stream playing. If people want the recording of it, DM me on Clubhouse, on Instagram, the word Clubhouse, and we'll send you the link to the recording. So, you know, all these things can lead to funneling into your email address. But when people find you and they get on your email list, they don't really know much about you. They're not your hardcore fans, right? They're just diving into your world for the first time. And so more important than the headline and like getting emails that grab attention, like the best ones are building a relationship with the audience. So one of the things that I had to do was really dive into letting people know more about my journey. So if you just get on my email list now, we're going to give you whatever we promised. You're going to get your bonus, your download, whatever we said we're going to give you. But after that, there's going to be a man behind the channel emails, which is who's Evan Carmichael, who's making this content, why do I do what I do? And it's basically just sharing a lot of what's on my website already, the homepage, sharing the story. And I made a video version of it and sharing that with people so that they get to know me a little bit more. Because if you want to write emails that get attention, to the question from Jessica, more important than just a headline is thinking about I'm going to open up every email that I get from Zan. Because I know Zan, because I love Zan. Zan's like doing prayer hands. Is like, yes, I made it in. I made it. You've officially made it, Zan. You know, I'm opening up every email from Zan because I love Zan. You know, and listen, Zan and I haven't even met in person. You know, we've met on Zoom. So because I love Zan, I'm open up, and that's what you want to create the relationship with people who are on your list. That it's not just about tricking them with the right headline, but that they want to open up every email because they love you. So how are they going to love you? Well, you have to build a relationship with them. Well, how do you do that? You're not going to be talking to them individually to introduce yourself. So it's through the stories that you're sharing. A lot of people will see my content, my emails, my videos, and say, I feel like I know you. And they start saying, hey, how's Nina? And how are the dogs? And how was your trip last week? They're like, do I know you? It's a little scary at the beginning when people kind of knew a lot about my life. Now you just kind of get used to it. But that means you're doing something well, that people feel like they know you, even though you have no idea who they are. And so I think that's the most important strategy, and maybe the curveball, the unexpected one, because what you put in your subject line matters, and you can study different copywriting techniques, and you can save all the emails that you opened from other people, from people that you signed up to. Look at the emails that you opened and what headlines were they, so that you have your swipe file, your marketing swipe file that you can model. And those are all great tactics you can use. But I think on top of all of that, the more important thing is learning to build a relationship with the people on your list, so they feel like they know you, even if you have no idea who they are. So that's my hot take. That's what I got. Let's turn it over to you guys. If you got questions, how can I help? Whatever's on your mind, business, life, book related, even non-book related, if I can be a resource. It's a pretty intimate, fun group. So you just unmic and let me know what you got. Who wants to go first?
I just recently hired my first full-time employee. I am curious. Thank you.
There we go. Look at that.
Big,
exciting, dude.
It's a very exciting moment. And it was last week when he started, and I'm very excited. And I'm curious if you have any input, any wisdom to share with how the mentorship, coaching, guidance, how that looks with your team. Is it a weekly event that you check, or is it one-on-one with your team members? I'm curious if you have any insights on that.
Yeah. So it's a little different now that we've got 37 people on the team versus one. And that's honestly one of my biggest, not regrets, but like it gets me sad that I don't know everybody on my team as well as I used to when I had one person. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's just one person. It's so fantastic. Or 5 people. That like at some point it just isn't as, you don't have as many hours in the day to do it. What I would do is, first off, if you just hired him, the training becomes really important. The training and the onboarding, the care and the kindness, and expect him to make mistakes and be there. A lot of times when we first hire somebody, it's like, oh yes, great. They're just going to do all this stuff for me. And then you realize, oh my God, why are they taking up so much of my time? Like it takes more time to do the thing at the beginning because you have to train them how to do the thing, and they're slower at it than you do. So it's just expecting mistakes. What's more important is the effort there, is the willingness to learn there. And then ultimately, are they coming up with new ideas that you hadn't thought of? If you're just hiring someone to do tasks versus projects, right? Like a task is, I will tell you what to do, you go do it. Versus a project where you say, hey, this is our goal. Here's what we've done so far, but I'm empowering you to come up with other things that might work, right? So if you're going to give somebody, what's this person doing for you?
Project management, operations manager.
Okay. So, we can say is, hey, this is how I've done my operations so far, but I want to empower you to come up with ideas yourself. Like, don't just take what I do as the rule of law and the only way to do it. Come up with ideas for how it can be better as well. So then they're more invested. They have more fun doing it, and it also frees up more of your time to go off and do the things that you want to go off and build. So the beginning, lots of training, open door policy, expect mistakes, expect to drop some balls, expect to have more time invested to make that happen. Afterwards, I would have 2 different kinds of meetings. I think if you have one person, a weekly call, I'm assuming they're not with you, like they're not in the same.
Yeah, correct. He's in the Philippines, and I'm doing daily calls with him right now, which will probably taper. I'm so on the same wavelength as you. Training. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So a weekly call to just be operations focused of tasks. Like, hey, here's what has to get to how are we on here? How are we on here? What are they responsible for? And just connecting, but on the work. And then a second call, which doesn't have to be once a week, even once a month is probably fine, to go over life. Because I think your goal, at least my goal with people, is I want them to be better humans because of being in my company. And so whether you love, there's some people who give built to serve to everybody on their team. And then, okay, what's your who? Because if you know that their who is respect, you know how to talk to them, what they value more than if it was something else, right? If their who was family, you know what's important to them. And so more life, like what does this person want out of life and how can you help them? And also just a bigger picture of every time I'm doing one of these calls with someone on my team, I'm always asking, what do you love about the work that you're doing right now? What do you not like about the work that you're doing right now? And how many hours do you want to be working? So that gives a good indicator of where they, what new ideas they could grow into. If they don't like it, it doesn't mean that they have to stop doing it, but I'm looking for ways to automate it or reduce. I don't want a bunch of frustrated people on the team. And then how many hours will shift. Like sometimes, if he's full-time, so let's say he's doing 40 hours a week, maybe he wants to go to 50 or 60, or maybe life is getting in the way and he needs to take care of his mom and he wants to go down to 30. Like you don't know. And a lot of times people are too afraid to ask for a change. And so that's where, hey, if you're saying how many hours do you want to be working? I'm okay with anything. It doesn't mean we can change it right now. But if you're at 40 and you want to be at 60, let me think of some ideas over the next couple of months to try to get you there. If that's your goal. I'm always behind the scenes looking for ways to leverage their skills and their background and their interest. So like, what did he do before coming to you? What did he love about that job? What did he hate about that job? Is he an analytical person that can give more like ops? It sounds, I mean, hopefully if he's in charge of ops, he's attention to detail, analytical. So the job that you hire for is a good starting point. But as you build and grow a company, it needs to be somebody who can take on a whole bunch of different things, right? Because you're going to be in a different spot in a year and in 2 years. And you want people to be able to build and grow, within you. So right now, there's some people I meet weekly, some people I meet monthly, some people I meet quarterly. And it's a stretch, to meet everybody, 37 people on the team. Having a different spot though, for the operations stuff, like, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Where are we at? Right. That should be a weekly call, but having it in a different spot compared to even like switch up where you are or switch up the day. So my personal development ones are just getting to know people better is on a Sunday. And it's Sunday morning coffee. I'm in a different vibe. I'm not in like a go rush. Okay, I got to get to the next thing. Zen and I did one not too long ago. And I grabbed my coffee and it was, 7 a.m. or something for him. And it's like, hey, what's up? What do you, it was a little different because Zan, it was more like helping Zan with his business and what he was doing. But typically it's trying to find just ways that you can help and be a resource for them. But having it on a different day, or even if you're going to have it in a different location, like if you're sitting on the couch like you are now versus being at your desk or your office or whatever, it's a different vibe. It's a more relaxed tone. And we'll often tell them, hey, it's coffee with Evan. And if it's somebody in the Philippines, they have a decaf tea or something. And we'll cheers. And it's like we're having a coffee meeting. But trying to combine them, I found didn't work. Because when you're in operations mode, you're just kind of trying to get to the next thing. And also when I put it on a weekday, I would just rush it to get to the next. Okay, I know I only have half an hour here, so we got to make this time count. How can I help, Andrew? What do you got? Which isn't really conducive to having a maybe life-changing conversation. So I think you're doing it, and then you're just looking at how do I help this person grow, and it may be on you to push people into things that they may not see, because they may not see what you see in them. And that becomes your job to help them see. Like maybe the person you bring on is really analytical, ops focused, but they have a creative streak for some reason. Like they're on their Instagram, they're posting their drawings or something, and maybe you give them thumbnail design as an experiment. Like you vibe with them when you see what they might fit into. Sandra says Philippines is a coffee country. Yeah, the problem is it's 10 a.m. for me, which is then 10 or 11 p.m. depending on time, the Eastern, what is it, daylight savings time. So, if you can drink coffee at 11 p.m., that's pretty cool. But I know I would be up all night.
Let me add this also while Evan is still here. Andrew, on the other end, I'm speaking for myself. They would appreciate it. They value it so much. I get to talk to Evan on a Sunday early in the morning. Like, you love it, even though it's early, but you love it. So on your end, they're gonna really value it, and they're gonna be excited because they get to talk to you on a Sunday on a relaxed day, like Evan was saying.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's actually not that hard to stand out as a boss. Most bosses suck. And I don't even think it as a boss, but most employers suck. Especially if you're hiring. Are you hiring through Upwork, or what service did you use?
Funny enough, I had I know we're out of time. I had a post on Upwork, but I posted across all my social media platforms. And then a friend of mine saw my Facebook post and said, Andrew, I got the perfect guy. You got to meet him. If you don't hire him, I will. And my friend couldn't have been more right. I got on an interview at the end of the hour, I said, you're my guy. You're my guy. And it's quite a transformation to shift from a non-employer to an employer. And I'm still adjusting to that mindset. It's a new way of looking at myself, but very, very, very excited with what the future holds now.
Even just asking like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Every now and then. On Monday, I was on my walk in the morning and I sent them a video message to each person on my team. I sent one to Zan too.
Yeah.
And it was nothing. It's like, hey, Zan, I'm on my walk. Happy Monday. I was just thinking about you today. Just thank you for being in our community, Built to Serve coach. Appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a great start to your week. Send. Like, terrible lighting. I don't know. I'm just walking. It's cold. I'm just walking, press record. And I did that for everybody in the team. Like a 15-second video. It's not an essay or giant thought leadership thing. Just a quick, but everybody loves it. Yeah. So the standards are so low for being a good employer that it's not that hard to stand out just by like being a good person and caring about somebody and asking how they're doing. But I think that even though that's a crazy high standard for most people, that's still nothing compared to which it could do. And so, I think at a minimum, just figuring out once a month to get together to not talk about business, but their role and where they could go. And it's fulfilling for you too, to feel like you're helping somebody believe more in themselves and create more of themselves and where they're at right now. So
that was powerful. Thank you so much, Evan. I really appreciate that.
I think next year, like in 2022, Evan's going to call everybody and have the Oprah effect. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Oh, no.
Zane needs a new car. Is that what's happening, Zane?
No.
Anyway, cool. And super happy for you, man. Congrats. I think you'll be just knowing you, I think you'll be an awesome leader. And that person's lucky to have you, as a boss, I guess. And keep us posted. Come on back and let us know struggles, challenges, wins. But I'm out of time. Thank you guys for the love, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Evan.
If you want to get a copy of Built to Serve and join us live for our next training with me to ask your questions, you can go get the book right there next to me, right there. I'll see you there. I'll see you to get the book. It's a good one. Much love.